Miss Samantha, you have a husband and 2 kids, right? I nodded. She sighed and then whispered, well, I have to say this. One of them is not yours. My heart sank as she continued.
How?
You said that you...
Someone call Maury, bro. No.
When it comes to 1-year-old Khalees, Jose, you are not.
What's going on, Presidential? Gang, it's your boy, Mr. President, man. What's good, boys? What's good? Welcome back for some
scary stories.
Alright, guys, look, I know it's been a minute. I don't remember the last time I posted a scary story reaction. I think it's been like probably 2 weeks. Has it? I don't know. I'm gonna see how long it was, bro, but I just didn't want to do like a Crib TV short 15-minute clip, bro. It's been a while, so I wanted to give you guys like at least an hour. And I know we've been checking out a lot of Wansi lately, bro, because they're bangers, bro. They're bangers. Last time we checked out, I think it was August. No. It was June. Yeah, June. We checked out June. This time we're checking out July. That's my birth month, by the way. So 18 why does it do that? That's nasty. Alright, we're checking out 18 Horror Stories animated compilation of July 2020. Y'all already know. By the GOAT himself, Wansi Entertainment, man. So without further ado, roll that clip, bro.
My name is Alan.
I met a girl at the airport and she kept following me.
I was at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport and about to check in, going to Dubai. I was standing
because I heard him first. I said, hold on.
This man just casually said, yeah, man, I'm just chilling, man. Chilling at the airport. I'm about to head out to Dubai, but nothing major. What you about today? These rich guys, bro, I swear. And he has AirPods.
The line to check in when I noticed that someone was staring at me. It was a girl. She seemed like an ordinary girl at first, but
bro, I'm sorry, boys. All right, she looks like that girl from Bob's Burgers, bro. I don't know what her name is. The daughter. I'm gonna put it up here somewhere, bro. But she looks like that.
Noticed that her eyes were
like a little bit grown-up version of her head ass.
Look at her. She was smiling at me, but her smile was kind of annoying and crooked.
Oh man.
I got creeped out, so after I was finished checking in, I quickly went through immigration and headed to the flight gates. Before going to the gates, I stopped at the restroom, and while I was urinating there, I could hear someone faintly whispering outside. I could tell that it was a girl's voice. When I finally walked outside, I encountered the same girl who I had met at the check-in line.
Maybe she liked you, bro.
Standing there.
Menacingly.
I saw scissors in her pocket.
Oh.
I quickly pushed her, ran away, and hid from her for a while. 30 minutes later, I barely arrived at the gate.
You didn't tell security or anything, bro?
Guess who arrived at the gate?
Like, how would you even get through the airport or even get on a flight if they search you, right? They search you for weapons or something. Like, I haven't been in a flight in like, I don't know, years, bro. I think it's been like more than probably 10 years. But I know for a fact they do check you for weapons. I don't know, man. Unless you're a U.S. Marshal or something.
Same girl was there again. She was literally stalking me the whole time.
And she still got those. Right then, I was terrified. Third grade scissors on her, bro.
I made sure that I didn't make eye contact with her at all. Fortunately, my seat was apart from hers. So at least I felt a little relieved during the flight. But this story didn't end there. When I arrived in Dubai, I quickly got out of the airport and headed to the currency exchange counter. While I was exchanging my money, I looked around several times, but there was no sign of her anywhere. I quickly grabbed my money, but the moment I turned around, my heart dropped.
What happened?
The same girl whom I'd met at the
airport. Are you kidding me?
She was staring at me, holding scissors.
Don't tell me she charged at you or something.
Twitching bizarrely.
Oh.
Her smile became bigger.
Bro, I was about to say, man.
And she was walking toward me, closer and closer.
And you just stood there?
Menacingly!
It was almost 2 a.m. and
I
there
like
was
how no one
nobody
saw
else
this,
around
too.
in that area. I had no choice but to run, so I dashed quickly away and started searching for a taxi to get to the train station. Just then, I realized that the girl started to speed up and chase after me. Luckily,
She running
I
that
narrowly
Ford flat
found
on you,
one
bro.
taxi, and when I got in, it was a sigh of relief. When I glanced out the back window, the girl was standing there and was staring straight in my
Jeez.
eyes. After 2 weeks, I went back to Manila. Of course, I didn't see her anymore after that night. However, the memory of that girl has been haunting me to this day.
Shoot, she
I
probably
haven't
still
been
there.
able to forget her face.
3 Scary Dreams story animated? I don't know. I don't know if I read that right.
This
My
is
bad,
about a
I'm like
dream I
dyslexic.
had when I was in middle school. In my dream,
man.
I was standing in a huge empty space with other people, and I could see the dim light from afar. In fact, behind us, there were some strange people coming after us.
Ew.
They were chasing after us, walking on all fours, catching and eating people.
Oh.
Each person ran quickly towards the light. I was frightened by those strange beings chasing me from behind, but for some reason I couldn't move my legs to run. However, at one point, I suddenly realized it was a dream and felt at ease. It's a dream. I was standing there, and at that moment, a man in his 30s who was running just stopped next to me. Are you dreaming too? The moment the man spoke to me, I got goosebumps. How could it be possible to meet another person in a dream? While we were standing still looking at each other, the people behind us suddenly attacked us. At that moment, I woke up screaming.
That's wild. The unpredicted death.
In my whole 26 years
Yo.
of existence,
Now, I personally have had lucid dreams. Like, I know when I'm dreaming, but something like that, that's totally wild. Like, that's completely out of this world, bro. Like, you actually meet somebody and then them themselves know that it's a dream too. And they're complete strangers.
only have
Let that
one
sink in.
dream that I vividly remember. It's about a nightmare that I had when I was in the 8th grade. Although I can't remember the whole story, the last moment still gives me a chill to this day. So, I was being chased by someone on a mountain along with some other guy in this dream. I could feel how I was gasping for air and the pain on both of my legs. I was about to give up on running. However, all of a sudden, the man suddenly grabbed my shoulder and told me to run away and live.
Nah, hold up, my boy. Y'all already know a sacrifice is about to happen or something, man.
What?
Like, I don't care if it's in a video game, if it's in real life, or if it's in a story. This always happens this way. Basically, when you're about to give up, some like random person comes out of nowhere, starts yelling at you to get out or get to freedom, and then they sacrifice themselves. Like, y'all know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what he's saying or what he's about to say after, but y'all already know a sacrifice is about to happen.
Furthermore, he already knew my name. That was the weirdest moment. As soon as he finished what he was saying, the man who was chasing after us appeared from behind.
I knew it.
And smashed
I knew
his
it. R.I.P.
head
that
in
stranger.
heavily. And that's when I woke up. Being afraid, I noticed that I had been bleeding on both sides of my nose when I woke up. It was about 5 a.m.
Relax,
I woke up my
bruh.
mom and talked about the dream. I know that it was just a dream, but I kept feeling uncomfortable. So I told my family to be careful. To
Bro,
my
I don't know
surprise,
why I'm
I
yawning,
heard that
man.
my uncle died the
I
next
literally
day.
just woke up from a
He
nap
just
too.
died abruptly, even though he
What
wasn't
happened?
sick at all. At that moment, when I heard that from my dad, I got goosebumps. Well, of course, it's just a coincidence, but who knows?
She thought this was.
This story is about the creepiest dream I've ever had. In my dream, I was in middle school
Bro, are
and
you
inside
for
of a
real?
classroom. All of a sudden, I noticed that my classmates were rambling on. They said that demons had invaded our school.
What are
and
they
that
on,
could
bro?
change into humans.
What?
Like monsters from one of those Korean horror movies.
Oh my gosh.
Some of my friends were gathering around each other, putting their heads together to come up with a plan. They
plan for
wanted
what?
to figure out a way to exorcise the demons. All the doors were locked. I was standing in the classroom with an anxious look on my face.
They probably the
However,
demons
the moment
themselves.
they suddenly knocked was the moment I realized that I was dreaming.
Oh.
Hey, isn't this a dream? It's just a dream. When I asked them while laughing, they all turned around
That's them.
and looked at me
That's
with
them.
empty eyes. And then I couldn't believe what I heard. You might be, but we are not.
Oh my god. 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 Why they have to make Jit sound like that, bro? Freaking creepy.
That was the last memory.
True horror story about a creepy guy at the restaurant.
A few years ago,
Oh
my
my
mom,
God,
my younger sister,
bro.
and I went out for dinner at a local restaurant one night.
First of
As
all,
we
why
were
y'all
on
walking
the
at night?
sidewalk towards the
That
restaurant,
was their first mistake.
I noticed a man walking towards us from the opposite direction. Well, I can say that this
Hold
was
up. Is that a laser dot? Somebody about to get quick scope?
normal. But there was sort of a creepy vibe about him. He looked like he was in his mid-50s.
Why he look like he blushing?
He was tall and had a dirty beard. He was also bald. Anyway, we walked inside the restaurant, and the waiter led us to a table. Then,
That
a few
restaurant
minutes
empty.
later, the same man from the sidewalk walked in and sat at a table close to ours.
Man, you know
which
he not
was
gonna
so
order anything. Probably
uncomfortable.
gonna order a
I
water.
thought this was weird, but when
and,
our meals came
like,
out,
nachos
I
or
just
something.
swept away any doubts about him. While we were eating, I noticed that he was staring at me the whole time. I
Freaking
tried to ignore
creep.
him. When my sister and I were almost finished eating, the waiter came up to us and said to my mom, "Ma'am, don't worry, your bill has been paid."
Oh.
My mom was confused and asked him what
No.
he meant. And
No.
he said that the man who was sitting next to our table had offered to pay the bill for us. Although this was a cheap restaurant, my mom
That-
refused the offer and explained that she was creeped out by that man. The waiter soon nodded and went to go get our bill. When he left,
That boy
the
mad.
man slowly walked towards us.
Man, sit your
opened
ass
a
back
strange
down.
duffel bag he was carrying and pulled out 2 stuffed animals. The shapes of the stuffed animals were totally crushed, and I didn't realize that it was an animal at first. It was the most disgusting thing that I've ever seen in my life.
Freaking
My
creep,
heart
bro.
started beating faster
Why
when
look like he
came
about to
over
propose?
to our table and gave the stuffed animals to me and my sister. Being a 5-year-old girl,
Man, get
my
away
sister
from that,
was going
bro.
to say yes, but my mom and I both interrupted and refused. Then the man didn't say a word.
Go
He
away.
walked back to his table and sat down. After the waiter came back with our bill, my mom explained what just happened. The waiter said that the man paid for his meal, so it wasn't possible to kick him out. However, the waiter said that he would follow us out of the restaurant to make sure everything was okay. Later
That's
that
crazy,
night, when
bro.
we came
This
back
dude's
home,
trying to
I tried to
finesse.
fall asleep, but it was hard to close my eyes because I was still feeling uncomfortable. I just laid there, and when I looked at the clock, it was around 2 a.m. All of a sudden, I heard someone walking outside my window. It was the fall season, so all
Dog,
the
it's that
dead
creepy
leaves
old
would
guy,
make
ain't it?
loud crunching sounds whenever someone walked on them. At first,
told y'all y'all
assumed
shoulda
that
took
it
a
might
car,
have
bro. I
been
don't know
some
why y'all
type
were
of animal.
walking.
However, I abruptly remembered the man from the restaurant and began to feel scared. The sound of footsteps was getting closer, and I shut my eyes as tight as I possibly could. Knock, knock.
This man has
Knock.
the
I
audacity
heard
to
someone
knock
knock on my
too.
window 3 times, slowly.
Bro, I
froze.
wish I was there,
I
bro.
knew that it was a red flag and that I shouldn't
I promise you, I wish I was there, bro.
open my eyes. but I opened my eyes cautiously. Then
Freaking
my heart
creep.
dropped. The man at the restaurant was peeking through my window.
Freaking
With
sicko,
his
bro.
glaring eyes, his eyes were fixed on me and
Like, stories
looked
like
me
this
up
make
and
me
down.
sick, man.
I couldn't scream at all. I just laid there, praying that
Promise
it
you,
must
bro.
be a
Just put me
dream.
in there. Put me in,
However,
coach.
he didn't do any harm to me. He just stood
I
there
don't care.
watching me
That's
and
trespassing.
then walked away after a while.
That's trespassing.
I didn't get any sleep for the rest of the night. The next morning, I explained to my mom what happened yesterday, and she called the police right away.
And let me guess,
However,
cops couldn't do
although the
anything.
police searched all over the area, they couldn't find him.
I'm not
They
surprised.
didn't know who that creeper was or what he wanted, but I'll never forget that night.
Mysterious
My
happened.
name is Eric.
Wait, what?
I'm 31.
Or what he wanted, but I'll
I
never
couldn't read that
forget
title.
that night.
Mysterious happened on Christmas.
I said, hold on.
Don't y'all mean mysteries? Now, I know I'm not the smartest person, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell mysteries. Mysteries? Mysterious? That doesn't make any sense. Mysterious happened on Christmas? Alright, Wanty.
My name
Let's
is
see what
Eric.
you got.
I'm 31 years old, as well as a single dad living in a one-story house with my son, named Alex. It all started the night before Christmas, when Alex was 5 years old. Alex was so excited, so we decided to go for a walk around our town. We were walking down our road listening to the sound of carolers in the distance. That led us all the way down to the main street. When we came face to face with the three old women singing, I took out my phone trying to record a story for my Instagram, just like other people around us. When I looked down, I saw
boy
my
trying to
son
get that
covering his
boomerang.
ears. I stopped recording, crouched down, and asked him what was wrong, but he didn't answer.
What's wrong, Jit?
Out of the corner of my eye, I could see the middle woman of the three carolers was giving my son an evil grin with a
Yo.
large, creepy smile.
Relax.
She
Relax,
seemed a little
lady.
bit weird. Well, it was a chilly December night,
I'll
so
get
I
my
decided
mama out
we would
here to
head back
scrape you.
anyway. When we reached home, my son looked relieved. So I thought he just wanted to go watch TV and catch up on his episode he thought that he might miss. Later, as I was cooking in the kitchen, I took a glance at my son, and I could see that he looked absolutely terrified. He was
What the
sitting
heck
straight up on
happened?
the couch, which faced the TV. There was a large window next to the couch that had the curtains slightly open. Then he sprinted up quickly, ran to me, and just hugged my leg.
Aww.
"Daddy, she's here," he told me with a shivering voice. And I replied, "Who?" He exclaimed back, "The middle woman we saw when we watched the caroling." I quickly looked at the window.
Where's she at?
And there really was that old lady we saw
Oh.
not too long ago. I closed my eyes for about 1 second, and when I opened my eyes again, she completely vanished. Being
That's
freaked out,
creepy.
I called 911 naturally, telling them about what had just happened.
That's creepy.
There were 3 cops that showed up, so I explained the incident to them again. And one of the cops showed me a photograph that looked kind of old to me. She was in there. Then
In
she
where?
pointed to that old lady, asking if this was her. And I answered yes. She started laughing. My son looked confused
How is this
until
funny,
I
bro?
asked why she was laughing. She stopped and gave us a kind of serious look this time, but was still smiling. Then she said, "Hey, you know what? I know this is weird, but this woman died 3 years ago on this exact same day."
You're tripping. You're tripping. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're part of it too. Illuminati. I don't care, bro. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Leave. 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 All those 3 cops need to leave my house right now. Y'all not gonna help me fight her? Screw it. I'll do it myself.
It dropped. That's when my son looked terrified too. I tried to calm him down, but
Y'all
I
not
couldn't
scaring my
believe
little
what
boy
was
like
going
that.
on. The other 2 cops came inside and said they found no trace of anything.
My dude.
I tried to calm him down, but I couldn't believe what
Look
was
at
going
this.
on.
Look at this. Who gave you permission to step through my window like that? Tell me that, huh? There's clearly doors out here, bro. And you could use that. You're not stepping through my window like that. What you thought this was, bro?
The other 2 cops came inside and said they found no trace of anything while searching. It made no sense. When the cops had left our house, I put my son into his bed and went to my room. I turned the light on my nightstand that was...
Like, if you think about it, bro, why else would they have a picture of her? You know what I mean? Like, why else would they know who she is if they're not part of her scheme? I'm just saying.
Close to the side, grabbed my phone and decided to check Instagram, thinking that if I could find anything, I would just call the...
Thinking if someone slid into his DMs, bro, with that with that IG story, man.
cops back. I opened my story, and to my surprise, I couldn't find that old lady in there. I checked another story, and then checked another again. But in fact, it was just two women there singing. Feeling mixed emotions like scared, mad, and even more stupid. I started checking some other people's stories from around my neighborhood. And still, she wasn't there.
Damn, bro, how many of your neighbors follow you? Or you follow them or something,
When I was
bro?
checking some
That's
story feeds, I ran into one story of some woman who was standing right next to me during the caroling.
I don't even
Where
know
my
those
son
people,
and I should
bro.
have been standing was replaced by nothing. It was like we weren't even there from the beginning.
Wait, what?
I couldn't believe what I'd just seen. I put a hand over my mouth and couldn't say anything. That night, that Christmas day became the most terrible moment for us.
What happened?
Well, I'm 33 now, and my son is now 7 years old. But even if everybody thinks that it doesn't sound true at all, we both still remember it like it was yesterday.
And that's when you submit. Oh! Chill the chill out, man. You ain't gotta
My
do me
name
like
is
that,
Samantha.
bro.
I'm just a regular woman with a husband and 2 kids. I met my husband at the high school we both attended, and we
That's
got
sweet.
married after graduation. I got pregnant shortly after, and had to get a cesarean section during my delivery.
That hurts.
Luckily, both
I'm not saying
babies
because
and
of
I
the pregnancy.
are
I'm
in
just
good
saying,
health.
look, that I know that
We
hurts.
have been living a happy life. However, something creepy happened to me a few days ago. Well, Kate became crazy. Kate was one of my best friends since high school, and I've always known her to be a nice, shy, and pretty quiet girl. A few weeks ago, we had our school reunion. I met my classmates again after about 10 years since graduation. Everything went fine, and we had a good time until Kate joined us.
Wait, I was gonna pause it real quick,
she
bro.
looked like she hadn't slept in
Oh
several
my
weeks
God.
and smelled really bad.
Yo.
Everyone just stood there,
Yo, Kate, you
frozen,
good, bruh?
until Kate took out a knife from her pocket. Everyone screamed, and then she ran towards my direction. Samantha, you'll die for what you did to me.
What'd she do to
All
you?
of a sudden,
She took your
the
mans?
police entered through the big glass sliding door and jumped on Kate. The chills hit me as she growled like a dog. Then the
my
police
gosh.
said that she had some kind of mental problem and just escaped from a mental asylum a few hours ago. I had no idea what was...
I was gonna say, and that's why I would never go to my high school reunion, because of stuff like that. People out there really be holding grudges, man. All because of what, you succeeding? Nah, I'm straight.
wrong with
I'm
her,
good, man.
And I was just
good.
wondering what had happened
I'll
to
send you
her.
a postcard.
And I felt really sorry for her because she had changed so much. A
Yeah,
few
she went
days later,
crazy.
someone called me on my phone. It was an old lady claiming that she was a nurse at the local mental asylum. She wanted to talk to me about something related to Kate.
Man,
Since I had
I have
nothing to do
with-
I decided to visit the asylum. As soon as I got there,
You asked this.
the old
You
lady
asked
greeted
this.
me, and she guided
asked
me
this.
into a room divided by a window,
You asked
like
for
the
this.
meeting rooms in jails. On the other side, there she was.
You have no business being there. What did
She
you do
was
to that
tied
woman?
up to a chair. I could hear her continuously mumble. Then the old
Speak
woman
up, girl.
walked in and said, "She is here, sweetie." As Kate slowly looked up and into my eyes, she started to scream at me with wide open and bloody big eyes.
Jeez, bro.
They are mine. You stole them. You must suffer for it.
What?
I didn't understand what was happening. What was Kate talking about? Then the old lady returned next to me and said, "Miss Samantha, you have a husband and 2 kids, right?" I nodded. She sighed and then whispered, "Well, I have to say this. One of them is not yours." My heart sank as she continued.
How?
"You said that you
Someone call Maury, bro. No.
When it comes to 1-year-old Khalees, Jose, you are not.
the cesarean section before, but half of your memory is not true. One boy is her kid. To be more specific, he's Kate and your husband's son. Just after
Wait. She's Kate and your husband's son? What?
gave birth, she got a huge shock and threw her baby to the
Oh,
ground, which
damn.
eventually made the workers in the hospital suspect that she was not stable. That's why she has been in this room since that very day, except for a few days ago, when she escaped to the reunion, back to the kids. Since Kate was locked in this place, your husband took the kid. He fooled you to believe that both are your kids. Kate
Damn.
finally noticed that her baby was gone, so she escaped from here to find you and your husband. I just stood there in a state of shock, just staring at her empty eyes. My husband was a kind person, but now I finally realized that he lied to me and even cheated on me with my ex-best friend. I returned to my home, and since then, I haven't told anyone about this yet. Well, to be more specific, I couldn't.
Jeez.
Both my kids still believe that I'm the real mom. If I reveal to my husband the fact that I know all of this, my family will be ruined. So, what should I do?
And you hit me with an ad now? Chill. That's a
This
very...
happened when I was...
Hold up. Before you even say anything. That's a very, very tough pill to swallow, bro. With the best friend? And get her pregnant too? I don't know what to say, bro. Oh my god, bro. Like, I know from a family point of view is very wrong, but this man bagged both of them, bro. And got both pregnant, bro.
Around 7 years old. My parents have been divorced since I was 4, and I stayed with my mom. 3 years later, when my mom got married again, we moved out of our small apartment and rented a bigger one. It was pretty nice. It had a huge living room that was connected to a kitchen with no doors.
Those
So
apartments
I could see
do be
the
nice.
inside of the kitchen
And they
while
got
I was
a
sitting in the living room.
a pool too.
As we were about to spend our first night in the new apartment, I decided to stay in the living room alone and watch some TV before going to bed. 1 or 2 hours later, I finally got tired and began dozing off. However, as soon as I began to fall asleep, I started hearing noises coming from the kitchen. It sounded as if the cabinets were opening, the plates were being moved around, and knives were being sharpened. At first, I thought that my mom was in the kitchen, but when I opened my eyes and turned around, there was no one there. I even got up and went to the kitchen, and as I turned on the lights, everything was in its place. So I tried going back to sleep.
That's a nice crib.
But after all that, I kept waking up due to several nightmares. Sometimes I would even beg my stepdad to stay with me until I fell asleep, but he didn't hear any noises coming from the kitchen and didn't take me too seriously. Well, this went on until we started smelling something weird inside the living room.
What do you mean?
It wasn't as bad at first, but as the days went by, the stench got worse. It smelled as if something was rotting.
Like
We
a
turned
body?
the whole house upside down trying to find the source of it, until we realized it was coming from the wall. We figured that a rat or something died inside the wall.
Break the wall.
So we hired someone to get that thing out of there. But what the guy told us was shocking. There was no space in the wall. It was all brick. Furthermore, the only thing that was behind the wall was the outside. At that moment, my parents remembered the noises I heard and the nightmares. They asked a priest to come visit us and pray for the house. So when he arrived at our house, he prayed and sprayed some holy water around,
man, that's
but
nothing
it
to be
didn't
playing
seem to do
with.
anything. A few weeks later, my mom went into labor and had my baby brother.
Aw.
He would cry so much in his sleep that his face would often turn blue and red. Crying at night is usually common behavior for babies, but this was more extreme. My parents were both sleep deprived, and the living room still reeked of something rotten, like a dead body. So I had to sleep in my stepdad's office room. We couldn't stand being there anymore, so the next day we asked a psychic for help. When she came into our house, she walked around with one of those aroma sticks. The smoke was grayish white as she walked from room to room, but as soon as she entered the living room, it turned black. She then started reading some prayers and spells and told us that someone was killed in this apartment.
Oh.
She also said that the ghosts were feeling uncomfortable with our presence, and they especially
So
didn't
what?
like
We
kids.
rented it out, not
Then
you.
she pointed at me and my baby brother. After she left our home, we were all terrified. So my parents called the person who we rented the apartment from and confronted him about what we just learned. To our surprise, he confessed that it was true and apologized for giving us that
My
haunted
bad.
apartment for
I
a very
didn't disclose
cheap
that
price.
before y'all
After
rented it
that,
out.
we moved out and the paranormal activity was not experienced again. However, this memory gives me chills up to this day.
I got a message from my friend who got murdered. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It happened a few years ago. I was hanging out at the local mall with a couple of my friends, just chatting, as usual.
Just chilling,
All my
vibing,
friends had
booling,
social media
cooling,
accounts
booted,
like Facebook or
zooted.
Instagram, and they would focus on it sometimes when we were goofing around
Bars.
together.
Pow.
Drake, one of my friends, was saying that he
Drake?
met a girl from Facebook. He also
Yo,
told us that he really
I
liked
know
her
you know
and
Drake.
that he was going out with the girl that night. We joked with him that he was going to be going out with some 40-year-old man. Like those kind of
Damn.
jokes, you know.
It
A
be
couple
your
of
own
hours
voice,
later, we had to
dog.
go back home. So we all left the mall. When I got back home, I went inside my room to watch some TV. It was almost midnight when I got a text from my friend saying, "Hey, just finished the date." So I texted back, "Was he pretty?" He replied,
Damn.
"Very funny. Jokes aside, my car broke down and I need you to pick me up." Then he sent me
Damn.
an address. Well, I'm not the kind of person who ignores when my friend needs a hand.
Facts.
So I asked my parents if I could take the car, and they said yes. I grabbed my phone and texted again, "On my way." Soon I got to the address he sent me and parked in the driveway. While I was going up the stairs,
Why are you going
I
up the
kind of
stairs?
had a
Where's his
creepy
car?
feeling, as if I was being watched. Anyway, I rang the doorbell and heard someone say, "Come in." At first, I didn't recognize the voice. It was neither my friend's voice nor a female voice, so I just figured that it might be the girl's dad. Well, I was a bit surprised that the door
Living
was
in
already
there?
open.
I
But
don't
anyway,
know,
I
fam.
walked in, and when I closed the door behind me, I saw this man watching TV with the girl and my friend. I said, "Hey, Drake." However, for some reason, he didn't respond. I had a strange feeling, so I slowly walked up to Drake, and I would never forget what I saw at that moment.
What'd you see, dog?
The girl and my friend
Oh,
Drake
my God.
were stabbed, and they were already dead. They were put in a position in a way that it looked like they were sitting.
Oh my
So I thought
God.
they were just watching TV like that. I looked over at the man watching TV, and I saw that he was holding a bloody knife in
Who
one
is this
hand
dude?
and my friend's phone in his other hand. He was smiling.
You freaking
The
psycho.
man turned his head toward me, stood up, and said, "Hello, young man."
Boy, sit your beer
It's
belly
your
having
turn.
self back down, dog.
I tried to run out of the door, but because he was laughing so loudly, I was terrified, and I couldn't move. But there was no choice. When he approached me, I abruptly kicked him, knocked him down, and...
Hold on.
laughing so loudly,
Hold on.
I was terrified, and I
That boy
couldn't
just
move.
hit him with a UFC kick
But
move,
there was
bro.
no choice. When he approached me, I abruptly kicked him, knocked him down, and managed to run outside. Fortunately, he didn't chase after me, but I didn't care. I just got in my car and drove off
That
straight
boy
to my
did
home.
a whole U.
As soon as I got home, I woke my parents and told them about what had happened. And of course, they contacted the police. The police arrived pretty fast and raided the house, but didn't find my friend, the girl, or even the man.
That's
And to
sad.
this day, they still haven't found any clues.
That's freaking sad.
Now I'm grown
bro.
up and I'm living on my own with my wife and newborn daughter. I always think about what would have happened to me if I was unable to run away that day.
It would have been
And my friend
GG.
Drake. His face keeps coming up in my mind all the time.
Sorry,
since
dog.
then.
RIP to the homie Drake. The woman on the bus.
This happened when I was on my way to my grandmother's house. On that day, I tried to catch the jeepney because the other buses were already full at 12 a.m. I finally found a jeepney, and there were only a few people inside. There was a driver,
The heck is a
money
jeepney?
collector who was hanging onto the outside of the vehicle, 2 girls, a few guys, and an old woman. We were on the road when we passed by a mental hospital. Then a lady with a hospital gown on
Oh,
was standing
man,
there,
don't tell me y'all let her
pointing her
in.
finger out,
Don't
which
tell me y'all
meant
let
she
her in.
wanted a ride. She was bald and her face was pale white.
That's not even a
The
lady,
jeepney
bro.
stopped next to her, and the inside of the car went
gosh.
silent. The streets were covered in fog and darkness, and the light of the jeepney was the only light source. At the time, I was texting my grandma and said that I was going to be late while glancing at the lady. However, before she stepped on the stairs of the jeepney, the driver abruptly jammed the accelerator and left her behind.
That's
I was
green.
confused. It seemed like everyone was too. When we
Yo.
looked over at the driver, he seemed to be so scared.
That.
We didn't know the reason why.
What?
I asked him why he left the lady behind, and he replied with a trembling voice. He said, "She's not just a lady, ma'am." At that point, the driver looked at the rearview mirror, shut his mouth, and then increased the speed. When I followed his eyes towards the mirror, I saw it. The lady was running towards the jeepney with a weird pose and an abnormal speed. She was so
my
fast
gosh.
that I couldn't see her face clearly, but her dress was visible. It was covered with blood.
She
The
coming
collector,
for
who
blood.
was hanging outside, jumped inside and then yelled to the driver, "Faster! She's getting closer!"
Hey, someone needs to
People
sacrifice
inside
himself.
The jeepney were getting scared. I was the closest to the door, and out of nowhere saw the lady jump on the vehicle.
No.
She then slowly hung onto the door of the jeepney.
Someone kick
and
her.
finally, she lifted her face. She had
Kick
bruises
her.
all over her face, and she was smiling at us
Dog.
with sharp teeth and big, deep black eyes. My heart almost stopped, and everybody in
Bruh.
the jeepney screamed. I quickly hit her with my bag, and she tumbled down from the jeepney. However, the moment
Hold on.
and everybody in the jeepney screamed, I quickly hit her with my bag and she tumbled down from the jeepney. However, the moment she got off, I saw her standing. She looked at me and then laughed like a demon. Not long after, the jeepney finally reached the station. Everyone hurried off the car. I got off and handed my payment to the guy. Then I went to the 7-Eleven nearby and bought some snacks to ease my nerves. I was at the counter thinking about what just happened, and then the cashier suddenly asked me, "Are you okay?"
Hell no.
I'm fine. I'll just say that I saw a crazy lady on the road when we were riding on the jeepney, I said, and then I couldn't believe his response. I know her. She had cancer, and the moment she lost all of her hair, she went crazy, laughing all the time, hurting herself, and even threatening to kill people.
Oh my god.
That's why her family eventually moved her out to the mental hospital. But after a week, she tried to escape, got hit by a jeepney, and died, he said. I was shocked,
God damn.
and goosebumps were all over my body. I asked the cashier if he still remembered the plate number of the jeepney. Well, for my privacy, I'm not going to mention the number, but after he told me, I thanked him, got my change, and looked for the jeepney I was on. The moment I found the jeepney
How do you
again,
remember the
I
exact plate
froze.
number, bro?
The jeepney that I rode was the same one that hit and killed the lady.
Nah, fam. True horror stories about the mirror in my school's bathroom.
This happened when I was in middle school. My school was kind of old building, and some places
You kind of
were
a grown
almost
middle
worn
schooler.
out. The school had 3 main bathrooms.
How many times you stayed
2 were
back?
pretty maintained, but the last one was different. It was separated from most of the other buildings. The floor was always dirty, and there were 6 stalls, but only 3 had doors, and even those doors were all broken up. I hated ever going there. Well, not just me. All the girls hated that gross place. Anyway, one day, while I was in the classroom chattering with my friends, I had to use the bathroom so bad.
The heck was that? Static Shock?
That gross bathroom was the closest, and
What the
furthermore,
heck?
I didn't want to try my luck to endure it. So I went
Damn,
inside,
bro, you know she
and
ate
I could
Taco
say
Bell
that
last
it was
night.
the grossest smell I've ever smelled. I entered the last stall, which was much cleaner than the others, in a hurry, and had to keep my pants not touching the floor. Afterward, I went to the sink to wash my hands. The inside of the bathroom was silent, and all I could hear was the sound of water running from the faucet. Then I heard tapping sound. I turned off the tap and glanced up at the mirror, but I couldn't see anything because the surface of the mirror was so dirty. So I looked down, washed my hands, and started to dry them until I heard a tapping noise again.
Jeez.
I grabbed some paper towel and slowly wiped off the mirror. And at that moment, I finally saw it. It was visible.
A freaking
There
hand?
was a hand that was out of one of the restroom stall, tapping on the surface
Oh my
of
God.
the door. Those fingers were pale white and skinny as a bone. However, when I quickly turned around,
Yo,
the
get out of
fingers
there.
were vanished.
Get out of there. Don't even
I
investigate
couldn't
it.
believe what
Don't
I'd
investigate
seen.
it.
So I just thought myself that let's just wash it and leave it. As I turned around and stood in front of the mirror, then
Oh my
I saw my
gosh.
reflection very clearly.
Why are
That
you
was
still
the worst
there?
part in my story. I was smiling at me. I mean, the
Oh
reflection
my
of me
god.
was literally smiling with mouth wide open.
That's
I
freaking
couldn't
creepy.
move. I just glanced at
That's
the mirror
freaking
and
creepy.
froze in fear.
Yo,
and
get out of
then
there. Get
I
out of
heard
there.
the tapping noise again. To my surprise, when I looked closely at the mirror, I noticed that my reflection was tapping on the mirror to get my attention. And on the other
Damn.
hand, it was beckoning to
Like,
me.
come this way.
I screamed
Yo,
in fear, threw my paper
nah.
towel, and ran away from the bathroom. As I came back to the classroom, I told my friends what I'd seen. but they never believed me.
It was that Taco Bell, bruh.
After
I'm
that
telling
day,
you.
I never went into that bathroom again. To this day, I don't want to know what I saw in there, and I'm still a bit paranoid about mirrors. Well, I'll
That's why
never
you don't have
forget
'em?
what I saw for the rest of my life.
Stop hitting me with ads. I don't
This
even read
is
the
a
title,
story
bro.
about a dream. There was a person who was preparing for a trip. After he bought a plane ticket, he waited a few days with excitement and finally fell asleep a day before the trip. And he
That boy
had
missed
a
his
weird
flight.
dream. He saw a woman in his dream wearing a colorful jacket. Her eyes and mouth were both wide open. Then
Jeez.
she suddenly shook her body and started to dance like
That
a
girl
mad
doing the
person.
Harlem Shake.
Being surprised, he finally woke up. He checked the time and then he realized that the boarding time had already passed.
I knew it.
All of a sudden,
That boy
he
missed that
received a
flight.
phone call from his mother while he was thinking about what he should do next. As soon as he answered the phone, he heard his mother's anxious voice. She was worried about him. Confused, he turned on the television and the news made his heart drop.
Oh.
The plane that he was supposed to be on
Someone looking out for you, bro. Someone looking out for you, bro. You better get on your knees and thank him.
had crashed. Furthermore, the airline's logo
Wants
was
the
very
air?
familiar to him.
What the hell?
I was bullied when I was in high school. One day, I fell asleep while in class, and when I opened my eyes, it was already dark outside. During the class, no one bothered to wake me up, so I had to leave
Like,
the
I'm not
classroom
sleepy.
alone.
I'm just freaking
The dark
tired,
hallway
man.
was scary, and tears were rolling down my face. I was really sad, realizing that I was being bullied. Anyway, I was passing by a full-length mirror in the middle of the school stairs. Then, as I was walking downstairs with my cell phone's flashlight, I saw myself in the mirror by accident, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it for a while. I was
Why?
not reflected on the mirror.
You a ghost.
Being confused, I looked in the mirror straight ahead this time, but still, I couldn't see myself. Staring in the mirror for a few more minutes, I then screamed and ran out of the school. Come to think of it now,
Oh,
I
shoot.
think they didn't see me in the classroom that day.
They thought you was dead. My mysterious voice I heard. Oh, the mysterious voice. I'm so dumb.
My name is Arnie. A couple of years ago in the summer, we moved into a new house that was much bigger than our old house. The inside of the house was very huge. Everybody was satisfied with the house. But for some reason, I couldn't get rid of the unnerving feeling. One night, I stayed up late, alone, watching some scary movies on my phone. All of a sudden, I heard
We've
what
been there,
sounded
bro.
like
We've all
someone
been
singing.
there.
At first, I thought
And
maybe
that's
I
a
was
sign
just
that you should
paranoid,
get out.
or it was coming from the
Nah,
movie I
fam.
was watching.
Nah, fam.
However, it kept going for like 15
Nah,
minutes,
fam, close
even
that
though I
door.
turned down the volume. I looked at my watch and it was almost 3 a.m. It sounded like a woman, and her voice would get very close to my room. Then it would
Why
slowly
do you
move
leave
through
the
our
door
halls.
open?
And then, after a few minutes, it vanished.
Come
I
on,
was
Arnie.
creeped out, but I eventually went back to bed because nothing I could do about it. When I woke up in the morning, I asked my mother and sister if they had heard someone singing last night.
They was
They
out.
just shook
they was
their
passed
heads.
out.
And they even asked me if I was okay. I was puzzled by this. So the next night, I decided to stay up to see if the woman would sing again. Later that night, I was almost falling asleep. But then, I heard it again.
Why do you?
The time
You
was
deserve
exactly
that.
3
You
a.m.
deserve that. I don't feel bad for you anymore.
I was so scared, too scared to go see who or
Jeez,
what
bro.
it was. I was pretty sure that I was the only one who was awake in the house. So I went out into the hallway quietly. And when I turned my head toward the hallway, I froze in fear.
Nah.
There was
Nah,
a woman
fam.
who I've
Get out of
never
there.
seen before, standing at the end of the long
out
hallway
of
and
there.
staring at me
Get out of
with a
there.
blank
Look
look.
at her, bro. Look at her eyes,
She was
man.
wearing a white dress, had long, straight black hair, and was singing that same bone-chilling song that I heard when I was in my room. I wanted to run back to my bed, but I couldn't move my legs for some reason.
That boy's
Then,
scared.
the woman started slowly moving toward me. And what I noticed at that moment still gives me a chill to this day. She wasn't walking.
Oh my God.
But I could say that she was rather hovering a couple inches off the ground.
That girl was floating.
As she was coming closer and closer, I could see that her mouth was almost ripping. And that was the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my life. I eventually passed out.
Oh,
and
you
when
got
I woke
possessed.
up in a panic, it was 3:30 a.m.
You got possessed.
I looked around the dark hallway, but she wasn't there anymore.
You definitely got
Well,
possessed. That
we
ghost
still live in
violated
that
you.
house. And I've heard that dreaded singing from that woman moving throughout my house about twice a month. I told my friends about it, but no one ever believed me. I just hope that no one else
She a
has
part
to
of you now, bro.
experience this terrifying thing.
This happened when I was
The head in
around
the
6
bag.
years old. I was with my mom on the bus. We were on our way to my grandmother's house. The bus was pretty quiet and empty, but there was an old man sitting in front of me. The bus soon reached a bus stop, and a few passengers got on. However, suddenly, the old man who was sitting in front of me started screaming out of nowhere and then fell flat on
Goddamn.
his face.
Yo, you good, bro?
All of the people on the bus were concerned, and eventually, the bus driver stopped the bus and called the police and an ambulance. They came shortly after.
Did he die?
A moment later, something unbelievable happened. The police arrested a man who was on the bus. To my surprise, he turned out to be a serial killer who was wanted for a very long time.
Damn.
The old man who had fallen started screaming because he found a woman's head inside of the killer's bag. This happened during finals week. My friend and I got hungry while studying late at night, so we decided to go to a restaurant nearby that was open late at night. We ordered food and sat near the window. My friend was looking out the window while she was talking to me, and then she suddenly stopped. She didn't say anything, but pointed at the window with a trembling finger.
Who's there?
"What?" I asked, as I turned my head towards the window. And as soon as I did, my eyes focused on a couple of people outside. I instantly froze.
Would you see a cult?
Somehow, my friend and I
Oh.
were standing outside staring at us.
They
They smiled at us for a while,
relax, just
and
relax.
then they blended in and disappeared with the rest of the people outside.
Let's not
Our
make any
food came out, and my
assumptions.
friend and I couldn't eat at all.
Just relax
We eventually rushed
Take it
out
to
of the
go.
restaurant.
and just
Who
chill.
were those two people we saw
It's
that
probably
day?
because y'all
And
been
why did they look exactly like
probably
us?
because y'all been studying too long. That's why. The Uninvited Intruder.
This happened to me when
Bro,
I
they
was
hitting
young.
me with a bunch of stories.
One day,
dog.
I was
Damn.
home alone and I was running the washing machine in the laundry room. When the first load was done, I took out all the laundry. I turned around and then I saw a lady standing right in front of me. She was a middle-aged woman and she was smiling at me. I almost fainted at that moment, thinking that it must have been my imagination. But unfortunately, the lady was still standing there. For some reason, I couldn't move my body. I was about to cry, then the lady suddenly started running around the living
my
room
God.
and was laughing out loud.
Damn.
It turned out that my home security system wasn't properly locked.
So
So
that
the
was
woman
real?
managed to sneak inside. The woman was caught by a security guard who came to our house after hearing the security alarm go
Oh
off.
my gosh.
She was later arrested by the police. Later on, the investigation confirmed that the woman was not caught on the elevator security camera, which meant that the woman walked up the stairs all the way to the 15th floor, opening each door one by one to
Why
see
they
if
keep
any
doing
were
this to me?
open.
When I was 6 years old, I went shopping for clothes with my dad. I had a good time with him, and everything was fine until I noticed that a man was staring at me.
Freaking creep.
He was a tall, white, and kind of weird looking dude who was probably around in his 30s. Then he started smiling at me more creepily. My head kept saying, "What's wrong with that man?"
He's weird, bro. Don't listen
I told
to
my
him.
dad right away, but he reassured me that it wasn't a big deal. So I shrugged it off and soon forgot about him. A few minutes later, we were at the checkout area, and I heard the voice of someone whispering. Psst. I turned my head back and I saw the same
Where's
man
the
that I'd
dad
seen
at, bro?
before. He was smiling again and tossed me a candy. I usually don't accept stuff
That
from
boy
strangers
caught it
because my
too,
dad
bruh.
won't let me. But this time, my dad wasn't looking at me, so I took it. When we
That
got
thing has a
home, I went
tracker,
up to my
bro.
room, sat down, and opened the candy wrap. However, there was a folded note instead of candy.
Oh my god, man.
It said, "Careful." Being a young and careless kid, I just thought it was some kind of prank and ignored it. A few weeks later, it was the holidays, so my mom went to a party and my dad was busy with work. I had to stay home alone, but that also meant I could do whatever I wanted to. So I was watching YouTube, eating my snacks until about 9 p.m. I started to feel tired watching YouTube, and then I heard some noises outside. I got scared.
Chill, bro.
So
chill.
I took my
Call your
phone and ran to
parents.
my parents' room, as it was the safest room in my
Call your
house.
parents.
I quickly locked the door. My parents' room had a monitor where I could check the security cameras, so I tried to look who was outside. However, I could only see red on the
He
screen.
disabled it.
I thought it was strange, so I quickly rewound for about 5 minutes. And what I saw was shocking. It was that man who I'd seen at the shopping mall. He was just standing there, menacingly, holding a can of spray paint for a minute or so. And then he suddenly started spraying all the cameras.
Yo.
Just then, I heard small knocking noises. Hiding in my parents' closet, I tried to call my parents, but no one answered.
Dog.
Then I called the police,
Yes.
thinking that it might be my last chance, and explained to them my current situation completely. Fortunately, the police arrived in just 5 minutes. They searched our whole house, and they finally found him hiding in the attic. After they arrested and investigated him, it turned out that the man had trailed me that day when I got the candy from him. He already knew where I lived, so he made a plan to steal some valuables from our house. They also found apparent evidence that he was even going to try to do some bad things to me. Well, I'm just glad I survived. However,
grateful.
to this day, it's agonizing just recalling the moment when I saw his face through the camera.
Hold up. Y'all know I'm bad at reading, bro. If you go to abandoned house, you would meet someone unexpected. All right, bet.
When I was about 16, I lived in a small town. We had this abandoned house in my neighborhood. It was huge, almost big enough to call it a mansion, but it had been an empty house for a while. One day, on the first day of summer vacation, I suggested investigating inside of that house. All of my friends agreed. A few days later, around 7:30 p.m., we snuck into the house. The inside of the house had been burnt pretty badly, which we thought was the reason why the house was abandoned. Everything was kind of cool, but old and countrified. We started to check all of the upstairs and downstairs of the house, even the basement.
Y'all wild.
Just at that moment, I saw something darting across the room. I started getting nervous, but then I thought to myself, it might be a squirrel or a raccoon, and brushed away my doubts. Then I went to the second floor, and my friends followed me. I opened the door, and there was a human-sized teddy bear sitting in the desk
What?
chair, facing us.
Wait, what?
We were spooked for a
What?
moment, but it didn't stop us from exploring further.
That's so weird.
We went to the third floor, and while we were searching around
Why y'all
and taking some
snooping
stuff,
around like that?
someone told us to look up.
Oh, that's
When
creepy.
we looked toward the wall,
That's creepy.
we could see the writing.
That's creepy, bro.
Get
Listen
out.
to what it says, bro.
However, we all laughed. We talked about how brave we were, and then turned around to head back
That
downstairs.
man's just trying to prove something,
All
bro.
of a sudden, one of my friends, Jay, whispered that he saw something moving behind me.
Wait,
I turned around with my flashlight, but nothing was there.
I
Feeling
thought he
weird,
was trying to
we
prove
went down
himself
the
to baby
second floor
girls,
again.
but
Then, when we looked into the second floor room, I swear to God,
nah,
the teddy bear was gone.
Get out of there. Get out of there, boys.
Everybody in the
Get out of
house
there.
said nothing at all. We all agreed that we should leave this house as soon as possible. There was a door which was connected to the kitchen,
yes, that
so
thing
we
locked.
approached the kitchen. But just at that moment, one of my friends gasped. Everybody slowly turned around, and the teddy bear was there.
Light that thing on fire,
It
bro,
was
and
sitting
get out.
at the dinner table looking towards us, and when we raised our heads upwards, we could see the writing on the walls. Get out.
Nah, fam.
Getting caught or not, I wanted to leave.
Gee.
I wanted to be out of there.
How long is it?
I ran
Okay,
out of the
that-
kitchen,
yeah, this
but
is the
I
last
couldn't
story.
take one step
Oh, who is
further.
that?
There was a man who was standing there. He was blocking our way through the door.
Oh.
He was holding a knife. He seemed like he was almost in his mid-40s.
He seems like he about to
We
kill
just
you.
stood there, staring at him, without saying anything or screaming. The man was blocking our way, and he took a step forward, staring at us with a big, wide
I
smile.
would have dipped.
Then one of my fearless friends that found an old hockey stick from one of the rooms stepped in front of me and shouted to him not to come any closer. The man didn't say anything. He took a couple of steps back and slowly crawled into a big hole behind a seat chair in the corner of the room.
Oh no.
We couldn't believe what we had just seen.
Hell
Without
no.
any hesitation, we ran for our lives after he disappeared. As soon as we managed to
Oh
get
my
out,
gosh.
everyone started to run away in a hurry. As I was following them, I turned around and I saw it. The man stood in the window and waved to us, smiling
bro.
peacefully.
Because y'all
Like
finally got
nothing
out.
had ever
That's his
happened.
house. Leave him alone.
When we finally reached a safe place, far away from that house, we all just stood there thinking that it was the most horrible nightmare we had ever experienced.
That wasn't a nightmare, bro.
After that night, I never sneak into houses, especially any abandoned
Told
houses.
y'all, bro. Oh man.
It all started.
Nah. I'm sorry, Wansi. I'm sorry, bro. I know I'm anxious, and I know my boys are anxious too, but we gonna pick this up next week. Alright, boys. Thank you guys for tuning in so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for even clicking on the video. Don't forget to leave a like on it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me, and please hit that bell for me too. It lets me know that you guys support me. That was wild, bro. I don't even know what to say on that. The whole crazy lady in the insane asylum, it wasn't her kid, bro. Oh my, that had me shook, bro. That had me shook. But yeah, boys, I'll catch you guys next week, man, for August. Yeah, we about to hit up August. Wow, time flies, right? Alright, boys, stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I'm out.
Panic. I'm thankful for my life and I can take this shit for granted. I'm from a different breed, like I'm from a different planet. They keep me where it hurt, but your boy's still standing. It's easier to fly, but the real skill landing. And if you ever cross me, I don't believe in second chances. I might just show some love, but I don't believe in no advances. I need it up front, cause you don't know my circumstances. I spend my life